hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and welcome to the start of a new weekly reading vlog. It's Tuesday because I kind of forgot because of the holiday that today was gonna be Tuesday. I forgot like Labor Day was a Monday. So I got confused, but it's Tuesday, guys. And I'm in my new apartment. We've had third apartment in Boston. I'll give you a little rundown. It's not, I mean, it's pretty clean, but it's not like super clean. That's my TBR, don't worry about her. And there's the kitchen. My reading plans, so I took last week off because I was moving, but I also like didn't read it all last week, which is just like kind of what happens. Like vlogs are like my memory keeping and also like keeping me accountable to like read more, which is like, so I'm gonna show you what I'm planning on reading this week. Storied Life of AJ Ficker, I started this yesterday. I'm getting really uncomfortable by the fact that there are people at my window. I might go close my blinds, hold on. Anyway, okay, so I started the Storied Life of AJ Ficker last night. I just got a chapter into it because I wanted to just like test it out, see how it was reading. I am really interested in this mostly because of Gabrielle Zevin's other newest book, which is Tomorrow, which I loved. This, I just like don't know what to expect. I know it was made into a movie with like Lucy Hale, which like doesn't give me the best vibes of like this being a good book, like no offense, but just I don't like the hating game. But anyway, yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this. So far it's about a bookstore owner who's kind of curmudgeon-y and he has all these like rules for books. He's like, I hate magical realism and I hate this and this and this and this. It's like, okay, girl. So it's about him and it's about this like person that works at a publisher. I don't know what they do necessarily. I think they sell books. Someone that works in sales at the publisher. And I assume they're gonna become friends or butt heads or something like that. So it's a short book. That's why I started it. And I was like, I forgot I had this and I found the audiobook and I was like, it sounds like a lovely autumn book, right? It's September and it's like finally feeling like September, like weather-wise. So I'm living it up. But then I would also like to finish Rhythm of War this week. Is that a good idea? Is that possible? I have no idea. This is my first week of work. It's not a full week, like I said, because it's Tuesday and the kids had off yesterday, but it is my first, well, it's 4 days of work as opposed to my normal 5 days of work. But it's my first week of work with children because if you didn't know, I'm a second grade teacher for aftercare. I haven't had my kids yet and now they're coming today and I'm very excited. It's gonna be fun, but I don't know like how tired I'm gonna be, how much like time I'm gonna have in the mornings because like I don't really go to work until later. I don't know what the vibe is, but these are my two reading plans. I'm 600 pages through this. I don't know if I mentioned that, but those are my reading plans for the week. I'm gonna bring this to work with me just because we have some time before the kids show up and I'm not sure if we have a lot to do. So I am gonna bring this. Hopefully I can sneak in a few pages here and there, but this is gonna be like my travel book and this obviously doesn't travel very well. So anyway, I'm currently making lunch because I got back from doing some errands. And other than that, I am probably going to pop on the audiobook for this while I do some little tidying up bits. I showed you what my place looks like right now and like there are a couple things that need to get put away and stuff I still need to like buy and set up and stuff like that. So this is gonna be a good audiobook, I think, for that experience. But I hope you like the vlog. Stay tuned. I'm very excited. The lighting in this apartment is so leaps and bounds better than my old apartment. So I am very happy. It's bright and sunny and someone's vacuuming, so I gotta go. Friends, it is Friday. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna make this into a weekend vlog because it's basically going to be a weekend reading vlog because I only read, I guess, Tuesday and I started this vlog Tuesday. So it really, I'm in my kitchen because I'm making lunch. This is my kitchen. It's very small, so yeah, but I've been reading. I have been reading The Storied Life of AJ Ficker, and I do need to say that it is very different than like what I originally thought it was about. Like obviously it is about this kind of like curmudgeon-y, grumpy like bookstore owner guy, and the sales rep from that one publishing place does come back into play. Hilda just heard me open the can of tuna and she's coming. That's so funny. You'll get your treat, I promise. Okay, so she does come back into play, but this story does span like a number of years. I want to say like over 10 years. So that was just like the beginning. That was just the start. That was just the origin story. But she does come back into play, and it does have a bit of a love story element. It is also a book about grief. It is like a really like, why do I like squeak my voice? Like literally shut up. It's also about grief. It's also about loss. It's also about not knowing where you come from. It's also about found family. It's like just like all those things. And I honestly am really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more now than I think I was in the beginning. It had kind of like a slow start, but like once we got into like the narrative of AJ taking care of this baby that gets left in his store, that started being more interesting to me. And like seeing her grow up and stuff like that is like, it's just kind of sweetie. It's like a very nice like sentimental book. It's like, it's interesting to me that like this author wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow as well, because I don't know if I can like, I'm trying to follow the thread. I'm trying to be like, how did this writer become the person that wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow? And I think, I don't know. I think like I'm trying to find like the similarities of like how they're similar. I'm not sure. I think they deal with similar themes of loss in general, relationships being tested, and uncommon circumstances. So I think that they're in that way they're similar. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is like a much more like complex story, because it just has like so much going on, and like it's just this whole narrative arc. But yeah, this definitely feels like a good precursor, but it just like feels like such a like a love of like, there's such like love of like books and literature and stories and just like words in this book, which is like everything I love. Like hello. Like, so I do really love that about it. So I'm like 200 pages into it. It's a pretty short book. I think it's less than 300 pages, I want to say. So probably next time I update you, I will have finished it. But I'm going to eat my lunch and I will talk to you probably tomorrow. Friends, I have an update for you. It is Saturday and I'm hoping to like read a lot today. I'm doing laundry right now, my first load of laundry in my new place, which is very exciting. It was a little treacherous, it was a little scary, it was a little spooky scary, but we got through it. It was fine, honestly. Like, I'm being dramatic. But I finished The Storied Life of AJ Vickery, and this book took a turn. It took a turn in the end. And obviously, not gonna spoil it. It took a turn and it leaned a lot into like this sentimentality, and like, I just kind of was like, I don't think it pulled it off. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it was like unnecessary. And like, as much as it's like, the storied life, like this is the tale of a life, I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. This is the tale of a life. But like, I was just like, I don't know, it felt unnecessary to me. It felt like an unnecessary like twist and turn. And I felt like the story, I don't know. Could the story have been complete without it? I'm trying to think. I think it could have, like, I think it could have been done differently. Like, I think something different could have happened. I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, if I were writing this, what would I change? Because I do like the like full circleness of the book. I like that. I think that's fun. I do think like, in order to get from point A to point B, like something has to happen. But like, I don't know, it just like leaned too sentimental for me. And there's this whole like side plot in the book that I was not caring about. Like there's this like little like mystery. Yeah, it's like a little mystery. And it's just not like, it just wasn't something that was interesting to me. And like the side characters in general like weren't like my favorite parts of this book, because we kind of like, we spend a lot of time with obviously like AJ Vickery, the main character, but we also like spend some time with like the other characters in his life, and those were also not my favorite parts of the book. I don't know how to rate this book, because like I was like, until the last like 50 pages, I was like, oh, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. But then it was giving me more of the side characters, it was giving me more of the sentimentality that I didn't feel was earned, but I did get sad. Think about me, I did get sad. But you know what? Leave me alone. So like the last like 50 pages like kind of like, it didn't ruin it, but like it just like didn't leave me with the same impression I had in like the middle. But I also remember I didn't really like the beginning. So this is the point where I'm like, why can't Goodreads just do half stars? Like, why can't they be letterboxed? Because I think I would give this a 3.5 if I could do half stars on Goodreads, I think I'm giving it like a low 4-star because I think it's good. I think it like has a lot of good like quotes and like things about books and book people that really like resonated with me because like obviously like I'm a very bookish person. So like I really appreciated like how it spoke about like the power of, wait, sorry. I'm looking at this cover now and the cover of the book, like the other cover of the book is on the book as a book. Does that make sense? I feel like I just, like that didn't make sense. But like not this cover, but the alternate cover of the book is a book in the bookstore. That's crazy. Little clever cover designers, okay. I think like at the end of the day, it's like trying to do too many things. And I think what's really successful about like Gabrielle Zevin's newest book, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which I'm gonna keep talking about because that's the only other Gabrielle Zevin book I've read. I think that like successfully does a lot of things. And I think this was just like, it was like a short book. Like, how are you gonna like it even says on the back, like it's humor, romance, suspense. Like it's too many things and it's trying to like cover too many bases, I feel, and like trying to do this like broad overarching theme, but it's good. Like it's about love and like it's great. but yeah, it wasn't like my favorite thing ever. I do think I would reread it to like annotate it because I think there are some really great quotes. I did love like when it would reference things that I've read and talk about them. Like I mentioned, each chapter is like broken up with like a short story and a little letter about the short story, some of which I've read and some of which I haven't. And I kind of think it would be fun to like read those short stories, even though I'm not really a short story person. This book talked a lot about how great short stories are and I was like, are they? Are they? Is that why I was taught them how to write them in school? Actually, they didn't teach me anything. Anyway, I'm really at a loss for what I want to read next because of course I have Rhythm of War. Of course I have Rhythm of War. And I think I will try to get like dip my toes back into it. I do of course have Rhythm of War and I do think I could like try to give it a go. Oh my God, I forgot my cat ate this bookmark. I honestly don't think I'm gonna like, I don't think it's gonna grab my attention. I'm gonna be so honest. I don't think it's going to. So I'm gonna have to figure out what else I can read. I of course have my little e-reader here, my little iPad, my baby girl. I could just pick up like literally anything from my library to read. So I might do a little peruse of my library to see what they have because I haven't been to the library in a minute. I should really make a point to go there next week. Yeah, I have no idea what I want to read next. I want to read like a good book. It sounds so stupid, but like I want to read like a good quality book. Like reading The Story Life of A.J. Fickery, I was like, a good book is so hard to find, you know, like, you know, I want to read a book that like changes my life. I might also just read something silly. That's the plan. I like I said, I think I said like this whole weekend I'm like pretty much chilling because I have had like a full, well, I've had pretty much a full week of work and I need some R&R. So I do think I will read like at least one other book, if not two. I have to go get my laundry and make some lunch, so I will let you know in my next clip what I end up picking up. Hello my friends. So as you could tell, I did finally like pick a book to read. I decided, you know what, if I want a good book, where can I go but one of my favorite authors, Fredrik Backman. So I picked up Britt Marie Was Here because this is one of the few Fredrik Backman books I haven't read. I think there are 2 other ones that I don't own, at least that I can think of, that I haven't read. But I am like slowly trying to make my way through all his books because I have loved every Fredrik Backman book I've ever read. They're some of my favorite books. Beartown is one of my all-time favorite books. Anxious People I love. All great things. So this is Britt Marie Was Here. This, I am now 135 pages in, so I'm almost halfway done. And I just read a little, I took a nap as well. Because it's my day off, okay? This is about a quirky main character, as all of Fredrik Backman's books are, about Britt Marie, who recently got divorced because her husband was cheating on her. Found out after he had a heart attack. Relatable, no. And she kind of like doesn't know what to do with her time, with her life right now. So she goes to an unemployment office and she's like, find me a job. And she finds this job in this small town called Borg. And she just kind of gets entangled into the lives of the people that live there. And it maybe is breaking her out of her comfort zone. It is changing the way she views things. There's something I love about Britt Marie because she's verging on like a Man Called Ova status, which is like just like curmudgeon-y, like hates everything, like super problematic, like bad opinions like level. But Britt Marie is different because she'll be like, no, I don't want to be prejudiced. There's this one part where like this little boy is like getting ready for a date and she's helping him get ready and she finds out it's with another boy and she goes, oh, it's with another boy, huh? And he's like, yeah, like, yeah. and she's like, well, I don't have any prejudices. Like, and like, it's just so silly. Like, yeah, I do like her. She like has a thing about cleaning and it has to do with like some trauma in her past. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm not like loving it so far, but it definitely is like scratching that itch of like, I love Frederick Backman's writing. I love his characters, like the way he's able to construct this town and all these characters that are like involved in it. And by characters, I mean like characters. Like, you know, when you're like, that guy, that's a character, you know? So like that's what I feel about Frederick Backman's characters. What's interesting is I'm reading this physically, but I'm also listening to the audiobook because I think I have listened to all of Frederick Backman's books on audio. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the audiobook is the British translation and my physical book is the American translation. And obviously Frederick Backman's books are not originally written in English. There are a lot of like word differences. I mean, not a lot, but there are some like word differences. Like they're like a shopping cart. They say trolley. A big part of this book is soccer, but in my audiobook it says football. So like that's a difference. And I was also kind of like taken aback that the audiobook, which is the British version, uses the R word, whereas the American version uses like a, to me, less offensive word. I mean, considering you can say one and you can't say the other, yeah. But yeah, these are just differences I'm noticing, which happens sometimes. Sometimes I get an audiobook and it's like the audiobook was maybe updated more recently or like the book was updated more recently, and so there are some discrepancies. I found that in The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery as well. There were like a couple tweaks to the book which I found interesting. Maybe I'm not necessarily always reading the first editions of books and that's why the audiobooks are different and the new editions are updated. I don't know, it's my thoughts. I definitely will be able to finish this tomorrow. I think I always need to have a Frederick Backman on hand when I'm like in these moods where I'm like, I want to read a book that's like great, like that's gonna be a guaranteed banger. And I think I always need to have Frederick Backman on hand. Although I don't know like what, like I follow him on Instagram and I'm always like very interested to see what he posts, but like he has said like The Winners, which is like the last book in the Beartown series, he wrote that thinking that would be his last book ever. And I am hoping, like I really need him to write more books because he's the best at it. He is the best. Tomorrow, I don't think, since I'm not gonna probably update again today, tomorrow I'm hoping to go on my long 10-mile run in the morning and fingers crossed I can do it. Then I have to edit the podcast because Childhood Trash, my podcast, is coming back and I'm so excited. And I have to finish this book. I already put away my laundry, so all is well. So that's what's going on. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. So I finished Britt Marie Was Here and okay. Frederick Backman, if Frederick Backman like taught a course, like a master class or something like that, I would sign the fuck up because like I just wish there were more books like this. And I know I was telling you like it kind of sounded like one of his other books and it then turned really into a very similar kind of like messaging and like themes to Beartown, which we all know is my favorite Frederick Backman book, one of my favorite books of all time. And I want to cry. Like it's so good. Like even though it didn't feel like new in that way, like it felt like it was kind of repeating some of the same, like, I don't want to say tropes, but like some of the same like characters were kind of having the same similar arcs and like similar situations were happening. Even though it was similar to Beartown, I still liked it. And I think I liked it more in the last, how many pages did I just read? Like 150? Because I read to like around 200 last night because I read last night as well. That's how you know a book is good. If I read before bed, which I rarely do. And I'm thinking about the ending too. It's just like, it ended so perfectly because there were so many ways it could have gone. And there's like this, there's obviously like tragedy and heartbreak and I don't even know how to explain this. Like there's so many different ways this could have gone. Like Britt Marie had so many choices she could have made. And like, I just love how it ended. I love how it ended. Like, I just, okay. I think I'm giving it 4 stars because I feel like it was kind of slow to get into. So good. Literally so good. And I'm like, I love her. She was here. She was here. She made her mark. Make your mark on the world. Like, anyway, so I had my little cup of tea and read that book. Yes, I do almost exclusively have Christmas mugs. This afternoon, I ran 10 miles this morning when I woke up. I slept in. Let's be honest. And then I ate lunch, and then I edited the podcast. What else have I done? And then I read this book. So now I'm thinking it's almost 4. I do kind of want to start another book. I do kind of want to watch a movie tonight because I'm in this like balancing act of like balancing the amount of books and movies that I consume, which, although I do want to like read more books than watch movies, I think. Does it matter? I don't know. But like, I think I've watched 86 movies, and I think I've read 88 books. No, I've read 89 books because that was my 89th book. Okay, got it. I feel like I'm allowed to, like, once I read a couple of books, then I'm like, okay, you deserve a little break. You can watch a movie, you know? Like, I don't know. Do I make sense? No. But anyway, I really want to watch He's Just Not That Into You because I think that would be really fucking funny. Not that it has anything to do with my life. I've been actually like, I have a list of like rom-coms and stuff that I want to watch because I love a good rom-com. And as you know, I haven't been reading romance, but I feel if I watch, I don't even know if it's a rom-com. I feel like that could be really fun. And I also feel like I'm in this little in-between period where I do want to watch like some spooky fall Halloween stuff, but like it's like the vibes aren't giving fall. Like it was a nice crisp day today, but it's not fall. It's not fall. It's September, but it's not fall. But I think the next book that I want to start is not a book I physically own. I feel so proud of myself that I did read 2 books that I already owned because I am so bad at reading my physical TBR. But I am going to read Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead because I have not tried out this author yet, but they seem to be a similar vibe of a Gabrielle Zevin, of a Frederick Bachman. They seem to be writing similar type of stories. I don't know like what I would necessarily call like this genre because it's really just like contemporary fiction. It's just kind of like general fiction. But I guess I'll have to look at like the tags of like what these books are tagged under. Grief fiction. But yeah, I don't actually even know what that book is about, but it has like been on my radar for a really long time. And yeah, this author's just like on one that's on my list of like ones to check out because they seem to be writing a similar thing that I enjoy. So, and I feel like keeping the blog a little themed, we can read some similar things. So I'm gonna start that book. I'm not really like gonna push to finish it. I don't know if it's necessarily that long. I don't think it is that long. I don't like need to finish the book today because it's Sunday. So I'm going to read that for a little bit. I don't have a football game today, which is very sad because I have my football games on Thursday and Friday. Next week they're on Sunday and Monday. A Monday late game, no less. Anyway. But yeah, so this is gonna be one of my Sundays where I don't have football. So I think I should do some reading. So I'm going to get my iPad, I think it's charging somewhere, and download that book so that I can start reading it. I hope it goes well. I do have high hopes, but we'll see. I don't know. Hi friends, it is time for me to wrap up the vlog, but I wanted to let you know that I did start Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. And I want to give you a little bit like of a synopsis and my kind of first impression thoughts about it. I am like just starting my coffee right now, so I apologize for like how I'm acting. I'm also just in a silly goofy mood. Like these last couple of days, I've just been so silly goofy and I love it for me. So Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead is about a young woman who is kind of shedding her identity in order to play pretend and work at this like Catholic church as a receptionist. I think that's her job. But she's like in fact like an atheist, a lesbian, like she does not believe. But she's getting kind of entangled into the emails of the former employee and corresponding with someone that they used to correspond with. And I read 2 chapters, the first 2 chapters, and I definitely think it's like different than the last couple of books I've read. Cause like right off the bat, it's like told in first person, which is like super different than like the other 2 books I read in this vlog. Like those are all third person. One was third person present, one was past, I wanna say. I could be wrong. I know one is definitely present because they mention it in the book. So it definitely has like a different writing style. It also is a lot about anxiety, which I'm like really glad I'm in the place I am to be able to read it, because I don't think had I been in an anxious state, I would be able to read it, because our character is spiraling a lot, at least in the first 2 chapters. They're talking about the feeling of having a panic attack and for some people that might induce a panic attack. So, you know, I just want to let everyone know that that's what's happening in the book. But I do generally like things about anxiety. I think like on the outside, some like representations of anxiety can seem over the top and overly done and kind of dramatized in a way, but I do also know like when you're in it, like there is nothing else. There is nothing else. There's no other real things going on. So I do think it's accurate, at least as of right now, like of like the feelings, especially like around having like a panic attack and anxiety attack. I thought those things were described very well. But yeah, I'm interested to see kind of where it's gonna go. I'm not sure if it's like gonna be my favorite thing ever. I'm interested. I'm hoping it doesn't go the way the Good Material went, as we know of recent literary fiction that I read. But this does have like good reviews, so I'm hoping. I don't know what I'm reading next week, but I hope you'll stay tuned for next week's vlog. And with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe to all the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!